Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So let's get on to our today's movie summary. Stella Grant is a cystic fibrosis patient, CF, who actively makes use of social media to cope with her condition, and try to live a normal life. Will Newman, another CF patient, meets her, and they quickly develop feelings for each other. Will discovers Stella's vlog on YouTube, where she talks about living with CF. Will watches each video she posts, because he is interested. Poe, Stella's best friend, has CF as well, and is openly gay. He informs Stella that he and his new boyfriend have broken up. Stella discovers later that Poe was pushing away, due to his CF. Abby, Stella's sister, was an adventurer, who passed away while cliff diving a few years ago. CF patients are strictly separated by at least 6 feet, to reduce the risk of cross-infection, as contracting bacterial infections from other CF patients can be life-threatening. Barbara, Stella's nurse, has seen 2 romantically involved CF patients die from cross-infection before, and she does not want this to happen again. Will and Stella have their first date, but they keep it a secret because the nurses wouldn't like it. They ensure that they remain 6 feet apart throughout the date. They eventually end up at the pool of a hospital, where they strip to show their scars from previous surgeries. They stare at each other, and then they swim together. Barbara notices that Will and Stella are not in their rooms. She immediately starts looking for them. They are aware of this, and they get back to their rooms in time. Will is in the hospital for his medication trial to treat a bacterial infection in his lungs. Stella notices that Will isn't strictly following his treatment, so she offers to let him draw her, if he follows his routine treatment. They arrange a second date, and video chat the majority of their interactions. Stella agrees to a second date with the Will, enforced by a 5-foot billiards cue, as her resolve to follow the 6-foot rule weakens. Will is taken by surprise, when Stella creates a scavenger hunt for his birthday. He eventually meets Stella, who takes him to a room full of her and his friends. Poe cooks them a huge feast, and they laugh a lot enjoying it. In the meantime, the nurse realizes that Will and Stella are dating, so they decide to move Will to a different hospital to protect them both. They received an alert from Poe's room, just as they were about to submit the transfer note. He was found cold on the floor of his hospital room by the nurses who rushed in. Several nurses enter the room. One attempt to save Poe by performing CPR, but he remains unconscious. Will and Stella come to know about this. Stella is crying, as she never got to hug Poe, who was her best friend. Stella then realizes that she is restricting her life too much. Will learns from her that while she was growing up, everyone was prepared for her death, but she has always been the only one to live. She says that she suffers from survivor's guilt after Abby's, her parents, and Poe's deaths. She also tells him that she had a dream about seeing the lights, but they would have to walk 2 miles in the snow, away from the hospital. As Will and Stella go to see the lights, Stella grabs Will's hand, which she justifies, because she has gloves on. They come across a frozen pond and slide around on it. In the meantime, the hospital is informed Stella is eligible for a lung transplant. After years of waiting, she ignores the numerous texts asking where she is, because she wants to be with Will. Stella falls off a bridge, as Will is distracted. Will helps her out of the water, after she fell through the ice. Stella went into cardiac arrest, and became unresponsive, as a result of the cold water shock. Will gives Stella CPR, ignoring the possibility of infection, and she wakes up. Stella finds out as they return to the hospital, that she did not contract the illness from Will. Stella sees him, through the room's glass when she wakes up from surgery. He informs her that he has only 1 month left to live, and he does not want her to experience his death, like the other deaths she has experienced. He bids her farewell, without knowing what the future holds for them. He confesses his love for her, and he gives her his sketchbook of drawings he had drawn for her and her friends, during their stay in the hospital. He tells her he can't leave if she looks at him, so he makes her close her eyes. He leaves as she shuts her eyes.